Hey everyone, happy Magic Monday. Here we are again. Hope everybody's doing well. Hey Lorna.
Hi, Christine. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. So we have a really interesting topic today. So I'm sure you've heard this term at least once or twice, this whole inner child thing, right? So the topic today is, do we all have, or do we really have an inner child, right?
Yes.
So I thought we'd explore that today and all things magical.
Yes. And I feel like inner child kind of comes along, some of these self-discovery expressions, I feel like they get maligned in the media. I think that, I don't know, I always remember the thing from Saturday Night Live where he's looking in the mirror and he's doing affirmations and it's, made to be comical and kind of to make fun of this guy. And yet these things are actually really important. Inner child falls under that category. Because whether you consider it that you have this little person inside of you, or whether it's something in your brain or something in the tissue, the issues in the tissue, this is absolutely positively a real phenomenon. And I just think we want to make that really clear from the get-go here, that yes, we really do have an inner child, no matter how you choose to look at that.
So yes, terminology and languaging. Essentially, when we look at the work of doing inner child work or understanding, it's looking again always at the root cause, right? We're trying to understand the source of our unwanted patterns, the source of unwanted behaviors that comes from this set of programming, the set of conditioning that we took on very early on when we were much smaller, much younger versions of ourselves, right? So the whole inner child is, yes, it's a shadow or an essence of the little person you used to be, of the woman, the little girl that lives inside us. We all still have her, right?
Yes, and Christine, and you're in my studies, right? I mean, if you study these things, I mean, we learn that so much of who we think we are gets set between the ages of 0 and 7. And that so much of what happened in our lives, was interpreted by our little self, right? So it isn't even necessarily the truth, but it's the way that we took it in. It's this programming that was either directly given to us or that we just made a decision about, right? That mom and dad went off to work to raise, to have money so that because they loved us so much, but we decided that since they weren't around, that they didn't love us. And then we take this with us, right? And this becomes our conditioning. This becomes our programming that's constantly running until we decide to look at it, right? And why do we start to look at it?
So how do we know that, we're bumping up against some old programming, the set of beliefs and imprinting that our 7-year-old or younger brain decided that's how we should move through the world, right? Well, we can start to look at certain unwanted patterns, the typical stuff, we lose our temper, we keep having the same arguments over and over again. We have this incredible sense of neediness or abandonment around in relationships, and we can't figure out, why am I like this, or why do I keep doing this? A lot of self-sabotaging, behaviors come into play, and we're all curious, like, well, what is causing me to do what I do?
Right.
And so through the lens of self-discovery and through the lens of greater awareness for, what's running, what we're thinking and believing, we can look at the source at something called our inner child. We can look at the source of that map, that programming that we took on, and decide that it doesn't work or serve us very well. So
right.
we can change it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And, the ways that we know that our inner child is kind of running the show is when we lose it, essentially. And that can come out in many ways, right? It can be like a 2-year-old's tantrum, right? It can be yelling and screaming and slamming doors and throwing glasses against walls and, that type of out of control. Or it can be that, you lived in a house where you got sent to your room and you were not allowed to have emotion. And so you had to isolate. And so you may be someone who just withdraws and says, I can't deal with the world for a few days until I can, quote unquote, get myself under control, right? Mm-hmm. And when these kind of, the expression that I learned in a marriage counseling session was, if it's hysterical, it's historical. And so that's when we know that our inner child is running the show and that we want to take a look at this behavior and do something about it.
So, and part of, that goes with understanding why we do what we do, being curious about the reactions that we keep having, the knee-jerk, reactions that we have in our interactions, is we don't want to cut our emotions off where they are. We don't want to sort of bypass and say, well, I have to get myself together, or that just doesn't work anymore. I'm just, the whole idea here is to not make yourself wrong. And in fact, what we want to do is lean into all of those really tough emotions. We want to lean into those not so attractive parts of ourselves, that we're afraid people might see. And they might think I'm needy. They might think I'm insecure, right? All the parts that, that are there, the inner child is a way to understand that, okay, so there's some old stuff I need to work on there. There's some old stuff that I need to rework and let go of and decide a new set of conditioning, a new set of beliefs that will make my life work better, right?
And that's such a good point you just brought up, because that part of us actually is needy and insecure. And it's accepting that that part of us needs a type of love or love that it did not get. And that's basically what the tantrum is about. That's what throwing the glass against the wall or withdrawing for 2 days. It's about that part of us needing love. And that's how we start to heal this. That's how we start to change this, is to give ourselves what we didn't get.
So our attention goes inward. Our attention looks to find the core wounding, if you will, the core unmet need that that we have a chance now, with our more wiser, evolved selves, to come back. But again, the issue is not outside of us. The issue is not in the person, place, thing, event, or circumstance, right? That's just a mirror of what's going on. So our energy and our focus to change and to shift and transform the quality of our interactions is always back within. And the inner child is a fantastic, fantastic place to work. And we'll go deeper, would you say, Lorna, into that?
Yes.
In future days.
Right. And we will go deeper, and we'll talk about reparenting ourselves and how important that is, right? And that we give ourselves that unconditional love that we didn't get. But that'll be on a different Magic Monday.
So we hope we cleared that up, and it gives you a little bit more of an understanding or appreciation for considering that you might have that little girl inside you who's looking for a little magic to happen for her.
Yes, and we encourage you to connect with her and to, find out what she wants and find out how she feels, because for most of us, there is a very sad, lonely, hurt, scared little girl just wanting to be loved. And we can do that for ourselves. So would love to hear any comments. And Christine, let's talk about our retreat.
Okay. So late breaking news, or not so late, but November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, ladies, Beaverkill Valley Inn and the beautiful, beautiful Adirondacks. We've got our 3rd annual Women's Unlock Magic Within Retreat.
Yes. And
love for you to check it out and join us and be part of an incredible, amazing circle of women who are all about finding their magic.
Woo, impromptu commercial. Thank you, Christine.
Check it out.
I'm excited. We'll put the link in the Facebook group. And, these seats are already going fast.
Yeah.
So please join us. There's only, 15, 18 seats. We keep it small on purpose. And we are so excited for our 3rd annual.
All right.
See everyone next week, and take good care in this beautiful summer week.
Enjoy. Bye-bye.